Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank, and we got the band back together.
Full house today.
Rob is here.
Oh, hey guys.
There it is.
I'm here today. I feel like I haven't been here in forever, so
You've been in our hearts.
yeah,
Our
just
hearts.
expect a lot of talking from me today.
Hi,
so.
Sonny.
Hi. What's up?
Hey,
How you doing today?
I'm good, man.
You guys doing good?
Doing good.
We brought Rob brought nuggies. We
Little chicken nuggets.
got nuggies in the crib.
McDonald's, the best nuggets out there.
In the snack cave.
Yeah,
Snack cave.
it's
yes.
it's Nuggies week. All right,
We got a lot to talk about this week.
we're gonna go over a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about that insane boys finale.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We're gonna talk about that exclusive contract that one Peach Momoko signed with Marvel Comics and
Come
how
on.
that could change the landscape of comics going forward with real coveted artists. We're going to talk about all the things that are happening in the news as far as TV, movies, and/or streaming, and
A little bit of all that.
we're going to introduce a newer segment that
Yes.
Rob is going to spearhead, and then we're going to
Yes.
talk a little bit about death metal's back after having like 19 tie-in
One-shots.
one-shot things.
Yes.
We're gonna-
Snyder's back. I feel like he hasn't written much in a while. So
It feels
For
like
what- for
he
death
hasn't
metal.
been. No.
no.
And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the Ten of Swords and all the different ramifications if we're going to have some type of bracket scenario at
Yeah, I
the
think
end.
that's what it's going to be.
So gotta
Once
come
they
on.
get all the players on the stage.
It's a March Madness for Ten of Swords.
We're going to do like a fantasy football league, but for Ten of Swords.
I love it.
Hey, that'd be dope. We could draft different characters.
Exactly.
And if yours dies, you're out.
Yeah. Put money in the pot.
We went to a whole new level of nerddom.
Yep.
Like about
It's-
5 minutes ago, it was a whole different conversation.
That's fantastic. Okay, so what did you guys think of the finale of The Boys? Did you watch it right away?
What is
Or-
right of way? Right
Did
away.
you? It came out Thursday night last week.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Did
I
you
watched
watch
it Friday morning.
Okay.
No.
But I watched. I was only 2 episodes in, so I watched 5 episodes on like Wednesday, Thursday
Okay.
to
All
be
right.
ready for Friday.
Oh, you were ready.
I was ready.
You had to wrap it up.
Oh yeah, I had to get it done. Sonny, but you're the boys person. This is your thing.
After
You're the
show,
boys' boy.
I am the boys' boy. After the show here, I went home and watched it. I think my reaction was probably like everybody else in the studio. It's probably one of the best season finales I've seen in a show in a really, really long time. A really, really long time. They hit every little dot for me. Who thought Victoria was going to be the one behind all the mind-blowing experiences of the show?
Pun
Congresswoman.
intended.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yep.
See
Oh,
what I did
yep.
there. I
Yep.
think Homelander at the end, kind of showing his crazy side. He's gonna go into full villain mode. I think the only moral compass is Ryan, and he's completely away from him now. I don't know, man. It was good. It was good.
I think I liked it so much because there was a couple of really good fight scenes. The girls had that fight scene with Stormfront.
That was
And
great.
it was amazing.
Girls
Like
do
the
it
funniest
better.
thing was just them flashing to those 3 guys standing there. They're like, yep,
Nope, they got it.
okay,
Nope,
yep,
I-
we're good,
I
we're
think they
good.
can handle
Which
that.
one of them's Huey? Like Huey's gonna stay back anyway, but the other guys,
Well,
they
Frenchie.
were even staying back. So, but also they hit the emotional sides of it too. Like when Billy's wife died, come on,
I
like that
didn't-
was sad.
I
Yeah, it
didn't.
was.
I didn't think that they were gonna do that.
I didn't either, and I liked her,
Yeah.
but
I think what they were trying to do is tug on all the heartstrings and make sure you're getting emotionally invested into this.
yeah, they're reminding you that it's not just a bunch of random bloody fights.
right.
That's
Right.
not what this show's about. It's about more than that, and it's cool.
I think Butcher. I'm sorry for fast forwarding to the very end, but I think he was almost gonna pick up that crowbar and make the son not be around anymore, but he kind of snapped out of it when Homelander came around and was like, he wants him for his own, and now he made the promise to make sure that he doesn't die. So now there's a whole dynamic that's going to be on in season 3.
Well,
But he did give Ryan back to the people who are
CIA.
against Vought, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm wondering if Billy's got a little bit of a if he's trying to hold him out because he knows he's kind of like his kryptonite. He's a little bit of Homelander's kryptonite.
He's 100%.
So I'm wondering if going through his mind when he was about to pick up that crowbar, if he was like, well, I could
Maybe I need him.
use this kid in the future because he's
Probably.
not blood.
No.
He's not blood to him.
Well, do you think it adds an additional dynamic that Rebecca is gone?
Mm.
This kid is still very much in the picture. Homelander at any moment, I mean, he's just distraught. He's lost. He's seen
everything.
Yeah, and he's damaged to the sense where he's not really putting up much of a fight to keep Ryan.
No.
Because he's so, like, I don't know, out of it. I mean, first of all, Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander, he's fantastic.
Great.
He's such a different
he's a
person.
lunatic.
He's such a different person when he's not Homelander. When you look at interviews, I'm like, oh, he's like a really nice guy, and then you come on, and he's like, this guy kind of sucks.
Now, has he been in much before this?
No.
Okay, so I'm a little worried for him too, though, because there's a lot of those actors who have played people like Homelander
Get stuck doing
who
it.
get stuck doing it, or the fans, the people, don't want to see them any other way.
Right.
Great example of that is Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That kid was also in Batman Begins. He did a lot of child acting, but since then he hasn't done much because he's like, people hate me.
Yeah, that's why the actor that played Anakin couldn't get anything.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything for so
he
long.
struggled.
That sucks.
But no, he's great as Homelander. He really is.
Oh my gosh, it's such a trippy character, and you have to have a guy who. I was laughing because we have a friend, Big Mike, was talking about, they were doing this interview with the cast. I don't know if he was watching something on Amazon Prime where they're doing like behind the scenes like cast and crew, and they were doing interviews, and Anthony Starr has glasses on, and he, like, his hair is like tousled, whatever, like messed up, not even slicked back. He's not dressed up or nothing, and he's like, who is this guy? He's like one of the cameramen or something from the show. He doesn't know who he is.
It's like, yeah.
And then it's Anthony Starr as a Homelander, and he's like,
So
oh my
what?
gosh. It was like, it's that guy.
You know, it's true. You don't see him outside of his outfit, his
No.
costume,
And his
in the-
hair
even
is
He's
in the
always
show.
got
different.
glasses on.
Even in the show,
What-
yeah.
Yeah.
His hair's completely different. He's not huge.
No.
He's like a regular build
Huh.
kind of guy. He's not big at all. So it's interesting. But I think the cast that they pulled is so awesome. Like the dynamic that everybody has, you can tell that everybody likes working with each other there. You know what I mean?
Which is funny because I feel like they're all super close.
Right.
But like on screen, you're like, they hate each other.
Right. Like I think the dynamic between Homelander and Stormfront, when they were kind of like, you thought that there was going to be like a whole superhero villain boyfriend girlfriend
Right.
thing, you know. It felt organic, you know what I mean? It felt like it worked good with the whole gender swap, or Stormfront was supposed to be this 100-year-old dude.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it was good, man.
Do you think that they were trying to do, like, they're trying to kind of balance the power in a sense?
Yeah.
Because Homelander is so, I mean,
OP.
ridiculous. He's
overpowered.
Yeah.
He's so overpowering that they've got like Maeve and, now potentially this kid who could be, he might not want to have anything to do with Homelander going
Yeah.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to do like some type of time jump to where the kid gets a little bit older and whatever? Do we even see Ryan in the third season?
Well, my whole thing is, where's Noir? Where's Black Noir? He's like, he got the nut allergy.
He got the
nut allergy
he ate
was
the almond
hilarious.
joy.
Yo, he ate the almond joy of death, and now you didn't even see him.
The
whole time.
almond joy of death.
You didn't even see him the whole time.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
don't.
he's not gone.
He's not gone.
because
He's not.
Was it Maeve? Somebody made the reference to Butcher about the tree nuts. Like
Yeah.
they said, we know how to beat this person. We know how to beat this person. We know Noir is the tree nuts. Like
Mhm.
so, he's not gone.
No, and I don't think Stormfront's gone either. They said that she's in a high security location. You know what I
I
mean?
thought you were going to say high ground again. Did make that reference.
I got the high ground.
It's over, Anakin.
It's over, Anakin. I think the burnt face and leg missing was really on point to how Anakin Skywalker looked at the end of that battle. So I think it was just a little simple nod.
But in an 8-episode series, you have more respect for her than you did for Hayden Christensen in two of like the most, it's like the most iconic series for science fiction or like
And
pop
one
culture.
of probably the most iconic scene in that movie, the third one.
You have more respect for Stormfront.
A little bit. I'm just saying, though, seriously, I mean, The movie was great. I'll say it again. You said it when you came in, man. Like, The Boys is my show. I'll put that up with maybe top 3, definitely top 5 for sure.
What's your top 3 shows
Ever.
ever?
Breaking Bad's up there.
Okay,
Uh,
Breaking Bad's my number 1.
I think Breaking Bad's like, if not number one, number one. I'll put Game of Thrones up there.
That one's my number 1.
It's definitely up there. Then boom, maybe Boys.
Wow. Okay.
It's been awesome. Dexter's coming back with a.
I was about to say that's my number 2. Game of
it-
Thrones and Dexter. That's my
so
stuff
they're-
right there.
They're doing in a 11-part series.
I didn't know any details until you just said that, but I saw on Instagram.
No, it's coming back.
It's
Showtime
coming
released it. I saw that, but I didn't know the details.
Don't know
That's
what
dope.
capacity, but
Well, I mean, I knew that they needed to figure something out with the ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that was a little
we
sketchy.
just rewatched it, my wife and I, because she had never seen it,
okay.
and like she was pissed at the end. Like she's like, I'm done. This is stupid.
She dug it though. She liked it.
She liked the
Yeah, okay.
show.
It was
she
awesome
didn't like
show.
the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
At
which
the-
I was okay with the end personally.
It was good until I think season 5, 6. It kind of started to get a little.
Season 5 is the series that I was like, yep, bye. But then
After-
6 came back, and I thought that one was cool. The Apocalypse Killer, the Revelation guy. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool.
So, do we think that? I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to wait a while before we get a 3rd season. They're gonna fast track whatever this spin-off concept that's gonna be within this boys universe,
The college or the high school
college
thing.
or high school academy thing.
That's where Ryan's going.
Oh, that could be.
That could be.
100%.
So what are we expecting for the next season? How do we think this is going to start to unfold? We saw that Huey is taking the position. He's gonna be working as an internship or
Right.
whatever.
It's like an internship / like sleeper cell. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him inside. Oh, phrasing. I think everybody split up at the end.
Mhm.
So I think season 3 is gonna be like, how are we bringing everybody back?
right.
You know, what is Frenchie and Kimiko doing? Are they dancing? Or did they I don't know, do something? We're gonna have to form the boys back in some type of way, and then I think Homelander is gonna be back on his villain stuff.
I think one of the big questions we got to ask is, did Mother's Milk ever get back to his girlfriend, because she seemed to be mad at him for like 2 years.
Well, yeah, because you saw the kid.
He's always, somewhere where he's not
He's
supposed
always
to be.
gone.
He's always
I'm
gone.
so sorry, baby. I mean, he's always in trouble.
I think him. He's probably like, I don't know, second favorite character. He's awesome. I just love his
He's great.
comedic relief, but he's also like a badass. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love him. In the comic book, they take things so much different. I know you haven't gotten into it. I don't even know how to dance around it. It's completely different.
Now there is, I just looked it up while y'all were talking, but there's a new series coming out for them, comic book. They're doing a new line. I have no idea what it's about, but it's
Okay.
supposed to come out, I think, within the next year. The same guy, I think, who wrote the first one?
Garth Ennis.
Yes, he's writing it again.
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
If he's on board,
That's
I
good
mean,
news.
Yeah.
That's good news for sure. I mean, I think with the success of this show, they've gotten
Our show?
Yep, with
Oh,
our show.
I'm sorry.
duh with the boys. I think that they've
With
been
our show
killing it.
and the boys.
Thanks
the
to you
boys.
guys at home.
I think they have enough leeway to do whatever they want. They'll be hopefully 5-6 seasons before they even think about stopping.
They have enough. Well, they have enough content. No, I mean, because they're doing 8-episode seasons, they have enough content to go into this. I mean, for a few years, I would think.
Do
The
you think?
sequel series, Dear The Boys, Dear Becky,
Mm-hmm.
it will pick up 12 years after The Boys number 72.
Oh,
12 years in the future. Same guy.
time jump. Interesting. I'm about it. I'm interested to see where all the characters are.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to read the original.
I
Uh,
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
either.
Sit down and read
so-
the original. I'm gonna pick it up. We'll just read it
Yeah.
Okay.
together. Hold hands.
Please do, because it's not going to be anything that you like the characters.
It's very different.
it's
That's what
complete-
everybody's
That's good,
told me.
that's
is that
good.
It's very different.
completely different. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to kind of see what they adapt with all the new characters. I'm excited to see where the storylines go, because they have enough room to switch things up. Noir's a completely different person. Some characters are alive that aren't supposed to be alive. Some characters are different.
Mhm.
Some characters have powers that shouldn't have powers. Some characters don't have their powers that should have their powers. So you guys should go read it. It's really good. There's some good stuff that we're gonna be like, oh, I've been missing this the whole time. What?
Sweet. Frank and I will get it, and we will start talking about that. Mark your calendars on episode 117 of
Way
this
later.
show. When we catch up 72 episodes in. So, you know.
So
or
look forward
issues.
to that. Bookmark that. That's coming
Go
up.
ahead and just subscribe now so you don't miss it.
Yeah, please subscribe. We want to know what you thought of the boys finale.
Yeah.
Please comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know. Was it everything you thought it was going to be? Did it surpass it? It felt like every episode it sort of built and built, and you're like,
Yes.
they're not going to outdo this episode.
Right. I thought
And
5 was
then-
the best one,
and
and I thought
then
6 was
they
the best
did.
one.
Yeah.
Season finale.
Yes.
One of the best season
And I
finales.
think
I've seen.
that was probably cooler for you too, is that you're watching you watch
I
5
wasn't waiting.
episodes and
I
2
hit it
days,
real
you didn't have
fast.
anything
Yep.
to wait for.
Yep.
And I think that's what it's going to be like with Lovecraft Country when I finally
Right.
sit down and watch all of that. I'm probably going to watch it all this weekend.
Well, I got my brother hooked on the boys too. He had
Please
never
get it.
seen any of it, and he was like, "What is this you keep talking about? Like, you keep sending me Snapchats like you're watching this." And then he sat down to watch
See
it,
it,
and the
you're
next
like-
day he goes, "All right, I'm on season 2." And I
Yeah.
was like, "There you go."
Because after the first episode, you're like, oh, I gotta watch the second.
He texted me. His words were specifically, "This is pretty good, but it's a little wonky." I was
Ah.
like, "Yeah, it is a little weird. Like, if
Oh,
you're
it's-
first getting into it."
I mean, yeah, it's an adjustment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To say the
definitely,
least.
especially when you're used to like Marvel.
If you're watching the first episode of the first season, you're like, "Oh, wow, this is
This
not
is what I'm watching.
this is not Plus."
No, this is not a Disney
Plus will
Plus.
not pick this up.
No,
Probably not.
they shouldn't.
Well, we don't know.
More than likely. And speaking again about Marvel, Peach Momoko just recently
Exclusive.
exclusive
Wow.
contract with Marvel Comics. She's been commissioned still through the end of the year to be doing cover work for a lot of the other publishers, but as of January 2021, as if this year couldn't, get any longer. January 2021, Peach Momoko will be doing exclusive cover, I should say, / artwork for Marvel Comics, and the rumor is that she's going to be doing interior work for Marvel Comics.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, I'll tell you as soon as they announce which one, I will be putting it on my pull list. So
Easy.
Okay, so my question is, what do you want to see her do in particular? Because we know that she has like an anime / horror type of background
Mm-hmm.
prior to her doing cover work. What would you like to see her do, or what character would you like to see her work with?
I think one of the ones for me, and we haven't seen her do a cover of it yet, but we've seen some Venom covers, which are a little similar. I kind of want to see a Morbius, the vampire from the
Ooh,
Spider-Man
be cool.
series. It's a little horror-esque, and they just did put out a new Morbius series, and I read the first few issues. It was pretty good.
Nice.
But I didn't stick with it because I wasn't sold on it. But if it was her doing the interiors, I think, yeah, her style just fits that. Some of the stuff, if you follow her on Instagram, just the horror that you were saying, it fits that.
She's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I think just because of how out her artwork is, like some Guardians of the Galaxy stuff or something.
That could be cool.
Really cool.
That would
I'd
be
like to
really
see her
cool.
do some
Some like
Groot.
space stuff. Oh,
No,
like Groot
a-
would be
a Groot sketch.
really
That's
cool.
true.
Yeah.
Just some out there spacey, really with the colors, abstract colors. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking because she really seems to be in tune with doing a lot of the female
Yep.
covers. It's like kind of isolating the one central female character. She kills it. Rob's got an example
Come
of
on.
it. We got
Yeah,
we got
right
something we'll
there.
be giving away in a second. With regards to Peach Momoko.
Yeah.
I'd like to see her do like She-Hulk.
That
I
would
was
be
just gonna
really
say
cool.
Gamora.
And she could sort of make her she could give her like a feminine side, but if you guys have read the recent Immortal Hulk run,
Yep.
it's more horror-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Immortal Hulk is going to end, I think, with number 50.
Okay.
And if they want to do a kind of a scarier, more edgier She-Hulk title, I think that she would work really well with that.
That'd be awesome.
You know what would be trippy is if you found a story that had a good backstory that not many people knew, so you did a lot of flashbacks. I'm thinking like Cable is a good one because he does time traveling and all that.
Yeah.
And you had her and Scotty Young both doing interiors. Scotty
That would
Young
be
doing
cool.
present and her doing the past. With the kind of the fade that she puts on all of her art, the final work that she puts on it makes me think like a time travel backwards vibe.
I could see that.
Yeah, that
I
would
can
work.
see that.
Scotty Young's a great. I don't know if you guys just real quick, pop in ad for Strange Academy.
There it is. Oh, it's good.
with Ramos.
I could
and
see her doing
Scotty
interiors
Young.
for that too.
That would be cool to see her work with that group because it's kind of an unknown lineup
Right.
It is brand new. Well, for the most part.
for the most part.
Yeah.
That would be kind of neat.
And that one's blowing up right now.
I think everybody. You were even mentioning it. Everybody in that list of the what are they?
the
Stormbreakers.
The Stormbreakers.
Stormbreakers.
8 artists from all around the world that are doing the next 2020, 2021 covers, internals, all that kind of stuff. I'm stoked, man. All the artwork is crazy good.
I'm interested to see if they're branding it the Stormbreakers, right?
Mhm.
I wanted to say Stormfront, and I was like, no, we got past that.
No,
That's
that's
the
the-
boys.
that's the
Moving
one.
on.
That was the first
Stormbreakers, right? So I'm wondering if Marvel is looking at potentially putting out a few new characters with that lineup,
I can see that happening.
and maybe ones that they've been creating. Because I mean, Jimenez with Tinian in the Batman run has been hitting it out of the park with these new character designs and these new characters that DC is putting out. So I'm wondering if Marvel is trying Marvel. Wondering if
Marvel Comics,
Marvel Comics.
Marvel Rye.
Guys, I
Comics.
promise I read comic books. I'm wondering if they're trying to do a little bit of the same thing and put out some new characters, some new people that are going to push these comics forward and maybe even push the MCU into the next steps.
Well, we're seeing that a little bit in Ten of Swords.
Yes.
We have Solemn, which is a completely new character, and I think for me, he's one of the most badass characters that they've done. He's the answer to a Wolverine villain, dude. You can't cut through somebody when their skin's made of the impenetrable metal you have in your skin, you know? So I definitely
Adamantium
agree.
skin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
I think seeing these new artists, if they came up with some new characters and seeing new designs of something would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
I'm interested to see how it works out too, because Frank, you were mentioning this has happened before with a specific artist that we both love.
Yeah, Mark Brooks.
Yeah.
Actually.
So give us a little history on that.
So he had a he had signed a contract where he wasn't able to do as many covers or I think any covers with any competing publisher when he was doing some stuff for Marvel, and he was putting out a lot of cover work, and I don't know if wasn't being paid what he was promised or something. So then he just started going back to doing cover commissions. He doesn't do interior work. He does cover
No, he
cover
doesn't.
art.
Yep.
And if you've seen some of his cover work, we've seen some of the sketch work that he's done when
Oh
he's
my
done
gosh, yeah.
signings. It's insane.
It is nuts.
Okay, just to watch him. I saw a video of him doing a sketch, I think, of a
Must be
Ghost
so
Rider
Yep.
or something like that. He did it. It was nuts. And I think that long term, I think that she could go this same route if she's either not content or she's not really feeling it, because there's so many other characters. We have to understand something in the way that, like, dollars and cents works for a major label like DC and Marvel. Artists and writers get paid more to work for the IDWs and the Boom Studios and the Image Comics of the world as opposed to Marvel and DC, because they have to sell that many more books.
For sure.
And I think that long term it could be an issue where she says, okay, well, maybe for a year I'm going to do this, and then she could end up doing maybe her own label, working with some writer that we haven't even heard of yet,
Right.
that, they just do their own thing under Boom Studios or under an Image Comics or IDW
Right.
or something like that, and she's going to get a larger profit share. And I heard something too about, with just speaking about how these guys are paid, Tinian had to stop writing Justice League Dark when he got Batman, because they wanted Batman to stay bi-weekly because they were concerned about selling Batman.
Well, because
So
Wow.
Batman
he had
has to be the number one.
Yes,
They have to make
for DC
Batman-
Comics,
right.
it has to be the
It
number
has
one.
to be the number one.
And he had to end his run
Right.
with Justice
Which
Justice
his
League
run
Dark. It
was
was number
so good.
19,
Nuts,
I think.
dude.
It
It
was
was
19
so
or 20.
good.
It was so
he had
good.
to end it.
You have to, but you got to sell,
But
Yeah.
the
he's,
LeBron, like the Kobe, you gotta,
you've got to be
gotta
able
put
to
him on the
make
front
your-
lines.
You do.
you gotta treat him right,
And I think that, Tinian made more money
Shout outs to the
with
Lakers.
this. Something is killing the children. Hey, number 17. They had to. I lost train of thought for a second. They had.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Comic books.
So Tinian was getting paid more doing Something is Killing the Children, and look, he took a risk, and the book is like
Paid off.
the
Oh my
title is
gosh.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Third and fourth and fifth printings of like sixth, seventh, and eighth issues.
Yeah, dude.
There's more printings of these books that are outselling the first printings in some cases.
Yeah, dude.
It's
It's crazy.
it's ridiculous.
It's so good.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think it's rare that you see that with DC and Marvel of them selling out, but it's because they're ordering so many more copies of it.
Yeah, man.
And these smaller studios, Boom specifically, all of their stories coming out right now, they're going to second or third printings. Like
But
we were
Boom's
just
killing
talking
it.
about.
But the incentive
Yes.
variants that they have for a DC or a Marvel Comics
Right.
is what eliminates that
Mhm.
second and third and fourth and fifth printing of that book.
True.
Because
Yeah.
all of those regular A covers or B covers aren't being sold.
Right.
Yep, because you're buying all the variants.
Yeah. So that other stuff is just going to sit there. It's going to
Mhm.
it's going to end up being dead inventory essentially.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And with these other ones, they have smaller print runs. What did we just say about another Boom Studios title, Seven Secrets?
Yep.
Yeah.
It just went to a fourth printing for the first issue. It's only on the third issue.
That's crazy.
That was the same thing with Something's Killing the Children. That was
Yep.
the same thing with We Only Find Them When They're Dead, When They're Alive, whatever the series
we
is.
find
We
them when
only
they're in
find them.
space.
Yeah.
Said.
I think there was another one. It wasn't Boom, but it eats what feeds it. Also went to a second printing before it even went to a second issue.
That's awesome.
And we haven't seen that happen with these big distributors except for Strange Academy
Mhm.
and Venom. Those are the only other two.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, Thor has a lot.
Thor, you're right. Thor's the
gets
other
a
one,
lot
yeah.
of printings.
I
It's Kate's.
personally,
It's Kate's.
I think
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
might
it. I think a lot of it has to do with people having a little bit more time on their hands with the whole pandemic stuff. I think.
Yep.
Once you can sit down and actually get through something. I mean, especially like with the video game stuff. I was talking about the Avengers game. I was so stoked on that. I picked it up. I got into it. It's trash. I returned it. It sucks so bad. They have Miss Marvel in it. There's kind of cool little stories, but they're gonna put Hawkeye in it. They're gonna put Hawkeye's daughter in it. There's gonna be Spider-Man in it. They're gonna put like Black Panther in it. So they're gonna
Like it's DLC.
yeah, like
Okay.
little DLC characters, and they'll give them their own like 2-part missions and whatever. But I already returned it. It was a
And
sad
that's
story.
tough though because that's a stretch. Like that's like
And they did a lot to get that.
you
game.
know you need to add a little something to this game.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Well,
tough.
They should. And I mean, we've been talking about what's been happening as far as all the developments with not only the video game platform, but with the streaming.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
potentially release dates getting moved around.
Everything is getting
Regal
pushed back.
Theaters closed. Regal Cinemas shut down
You can-
until
you
the end
can-
of the year.
You can rent out a whole AMC theater for
Let's do it.
$100 right now
I'm
It's
ready.
the same with Cinemark.
because they need to make money, you know, and
Yeah.
you can watch Back to the Future or whatever, which I think would be an awesome birthday, idea. I'm just saying.
We're ready.
So,
I mean, it's either that or the PS5, right?
damn, get that PS5.
PS5.
I think with the pandemic, it's just things are, whether it be streaming service, you can't go out to the movies. If it's not one thing, it's the other, and I think that's why Tenet didn't hit their mark.
hmm
That's why I think Black Widow's probably gonna go to the Plus. I don't want to have to see certain movies at home, but I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Unfortunately,
People are going to be cautious.
Yeah.
I mean,
We went real far from that Peach Momoko.
We did.
You had a
I was going to
giveaway
mention real quick, Peach Momoko.
trying to
she-
keep us on track.
She's so hot right now. That Peach Momoko.
phrasing.
We're gonna give away the Peach Momoko variant she did with this zombified
Come on.
Poison Ivy on the cover of the Deceased Dead Planet #1, the Peach Momoko variant. She doesn't have very many covers to do left for DC Comics, but we're gonna be giving that away for the whoever is gonna subscribe. We want you to comment and like, and tell us what you would like to see Peach Momoko take on when she starts with Marvel full time. What's your ideas, your thoughts? for
Favorite
what she could do?
character, villain, even.
Great.
You know what I mean?
And Rob's gonna drive this over to your house.
Well,
boom.
that's fair. So if you're in Arizona, no, I'm just kidding. But for real, that I will say just a small plug for that series because I think I texted this to you guys. I was like, Deceased, the arcs that they're doing right now, the Deceased arcs are one of the underrated comics I think right now for DC Comics. Tom Taylor is killing it on those. They are great. So just a small plug for that one, you know.
And I'm behind on it. That's one of the things I'm not reading. One of the things I am reading. Well, I'm going to get into that in a second.
Yeah, get into
Rob,
that in a
we're going to
second.
talk about a new segment this
We're
week.
talking about a new segment. You might get this in the mail. Who knows? Whatever. But hey, a lot of people have been mentioning to you guys. I've had a couple people mention it to me. Like I want to get into comics.
Mm-hmm.
What
We
do
want you
what
in
do I
comics,
do?
too.
And we want you in comics. We want you to be reading comics because like we're obviously passionate about them. We love them. But as these guys, specifically Frank, will tell you, if you talk to me and Frank about it, you're going to be like, I'm going to be spending so much money. Yeah, because we're cover hordes. We buy every single cover out there. But I think,
Not me.
yeah, not Frank. If Peach Momoko has a kid, they're going to college on Frank's dime.
They're going
So-
to Mars on my dime.
But for real, getting into the comic book world, I heard somebody describe it as it's kind of like dipping your foot in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so vast and there's so much there that you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Right.
So I want to ask you this, see if you guys, I didn't prep you guys on this, but first, before I jump into, I want to suggest a couple books for some readers. What was like the first comic book you remember reading?
I was at Santa Monica Pier with my mom, and I remember I saw a Carnage cover, and I was like, this dude looks so much crazier than Batman. And I don't remember which one it was, but I remember the image. It's almost like him on a spider web. I think it starts with Spider-Man for sure. That image will always go hard for me, and I think I can't wait until they actually do a live Carnage something.
Oh my gosh, it's in production.
It is, dude.
It is.
So for me, I think just for that image, that's what actually got me into liking anything comic.
Was just seeing a cover
a
on
cover
Santa Monica Pier.
on Santa Monica Pier
That's
of,
dope.
Carnage.
That's cool. That's super cool. Frank, do you remember yours? Did they
Well,
have comics?
Well, I'm so old. My life was in black and white back then because I'm so crunchy. My first, the first comic that I read, and it's because it just stuck out because Robin was on the cover of the Teen Titans. I was reading a new Teen Titans. This is in the 80s because I'm old.
First appearance.
Yeah.
No, I'm just-
It might have been.
I was
So,
gonna say Fred
yeah.
Flintstone.
so yeah, the Flintstones. The
it's on a rock.
yeah, I was on a rock tablet. Teen Titans. I was caught off guard because Robin was on the cover of another book, and I was like, well, why isn't he with Batman?
Right.
So I actually read Teen Titans for like 7 or 8 issues. It was
Just to
the
see what
only-
was going
I
on.
went to 7-Eleven to buy it every week or every
Wow.
month.
That was so that you didn't even go to like comic book shops.
I didn't go to comic book shop. The first time I was buying comics, I was buying like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Blue Beetle and Action Comics and Teen Titans. I was buying them at like a gas station.
That's cool.
And it was like a block or two from my house because there's no comic book store close enough.
That's really
and
cool.
my parents were not going to take me to a comic book store.
Right.
If I even knew where there. I think at the time there was only like 2 in Vegas. Back then, that's how old I am. And no, it was Teen Titans. It was Robin was on the cover, and I was waiting for Batman to show up. So I kept reading the book, and then I got
Right.
attached to the characters. As a result, I was like 9 years old or 10 years old or something like that.
Right.
Whatever it was. I was 3.
That's awesome.
Now I'm 110.
That's cool. So the first comics I got into actually weren't like a hardcover one or like even a book. So it wasn't even until I was in college actually. I was in college and my buddy's like, "Do you read comics? Because you like these movies?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Here," and he like gave me the like digital versions
Mhm.
of like 100 comic books that all tied into, which is one of the ones I would suggest is Secret Invasion, Marvel's Secret Invasion. I read this whole
Dude.
thing, all the tie-ins on my iPad. Like no joke. Like I had them, I was flipping through them, and then I started reading those. So then I went back home to Washington from college, and I was like, you know what? I got to get to a comic book shop. So I went into this comic book shop, and I didn't buy anything because I was so overwhelmed. I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
It is overwhelming.
It
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
is.
it
So
is.
here's what I want to do real quick in this segment. I want to just give our suggestions of what to read, but 2 quick ways to get into comic books. So there's 2 different kinds. You've got single issue, thin, real thin, probably like 32 pages. And you've got other ones that are these things, graphic novels, which is also called a trade paperback, that collects multiple issues. So
Yep.
if you're into Batman, this is a great place to start. You
Yep.
find one of these. This is volume 1 of Scott Snyder's Court of Owls, one of Frank's favorite Batman
It's a
runs, I
great
think.
title
It's
to read too.
So
Yes,
good.
this is so good. And it goes like 50 issues. But if you're not in it, if you're not wanting to buy comics every single week like we do, just pick up one of these. I mean, you can get these for like $12 on Amazon. So
Yeah.
grab one of these. But I was thinking about it today. Another great place to start would be like one shots.
Sure.
Either one shots, which is a thicker book, but it's one story, or I was thinking DC's been putting out these 100th anniversary or 80th anniversary books, like for Robin, for Batman, for Catwoman, 750 of Flash and Wonder Woman. And it's these thicker ones that are containing like 4 or 5 different stories to just get into like these books, these
For
comic
different
books.
writers, and you get to see
Yes.
different takes on what the character's
Right.
about.
Yes, and it's super cool. So here's what I would suggest. Here's my 3 suggestions. If you're into superheroes, Secret Invasion, Marvel, right there.
Boom.
2, Batman, Scott Snyder's run.
Yeah.
Come on, Court of Owls. Just
Easy.
even the first 3. You get to Death in the Family. Great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns,
Great
it turns
one.
into a huge story.
But
man.
then also one of the other first ones that I got into, if you're like superheroes aren't my thing, whatever. I read Scott Snyder's Witches.
Mhm.
It's a horror story, and then I jumped into his American Vampire, another horror story. And superheroes is huge for comic books, but it's probably like it's not everything comic books. You can
No.
pretty
No,
much
it's not.
find
Yeah.
any type of genre you want in comic
For
books.
sure.
So I think those are some super cool titles. What would you suggest for somebody trying to just now get into comic books? Don't be a cover horde like us. You'll spend too much money.
You're gonna
But-
spend way too much money. Something I would say was just like recently, I would check out Green Lanterns.
Okay.
It's Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. You get 2 different lanterns working together, sort of like police,
Mhm.
but they have enough involvement as far as like the superhero universe as a whole, and they tell really good stories. And it's completely contained. It's like 40 or so issues. And what I would kind of reinforce again, what you're saying with trades, I've done this with Sonny. I've given him a couple trades to check out. That's the beauty of a trade paperback is that
Yeah.
you can pick it up, you read 5 or 6 installments of this larger story, and then if you don't like it, drop it.
That's it.
And
Move
you can
on.
move on to the
Yeah.
next thing.
That's it.
But I would say Green Lanterns because it's kind of like a recency bias, and I didn't want to pick something that Sonny could potentially pick and Rob already picked. But I would say Green Lanterns because I just like those characters because they're not mainstream Green Lanterns.
Nope.
I just like them. I like their chemistry together. As far as something that's not superhero based, and we haven't really talked about it that much on the show, it's called Die. It's influenced by, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, it's referring to the die like the dice.
Mhm.
If you like Dungeons and Dragons,
How have I not heard of this?
if you like Jumanji,
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
If you like Lord of the Rings,
Ooh, okay.
it's sort of all mashed up into that. It's kids that get stuck in a game a la Jumanji. They disappear for I think 15 or 20 years. Most of them all of a sudden reappear after a lot of time has passed. And then they decided they have to go back into this
The
universe
game or whatever.
to find their friend that's gone, that's missing.
That didn't
That's
come back.
cool. That's
And
cool.
I think that it's still early on enough in the series that you could get caught up with it with trades. And that's what I would say as far as a commitment level. It's a very low commitment level.
Right.
It doesn't have any connectivity to any other series. Okay. You could read the first trade, 6 issues. I think Die is on like number 14 or
Right.
13 right now. You could read the first 6 issues. And then if you don't like it, you're done with it. You can move on
Scrap
to
it.
something else. And then you can contact us and we'll give you more stuff to check out.
yes,
Sonny,
absolutely.
What do you think?
What do you suggest?
I think since you guys both kind of talked about like starting and things, if someone was to turn on to Secret Wars, they would be completely in awe, but so confused onto like
Yep.
where things start. If you pick a like raise it. If you pick a Spider-Man,
Yeah.
you would get some kind of backstory. You guys know way more than me about when things kind of start and when things kind of end, but I think like Ten of Swords is so out there to where I think I'm talking on the other end of somebody not knowing where to start. The storyline is so huge and there's so many different parts to it and there's so many different components. I think once you learn one or two comics in, you're like, I'm stuck. I have to go in.
Right.
And I'm 10 deep. I'm 21 deep. I'm 22 deep.
See, and I'm seeing that issue for me with the Ten of Swords because I didn't read any of these X-Men things before Ten of Swords, and I'm jumping in,
I gotta bring
and
you that
it's
stuff.
taking me a little bit to like get into it,
I think that's
but it's great.
it's the coolest thing. It's almost like it started as like a movie trailer. It was like, oh, something's going on, blah 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 blah. Now we're kind of going into, we have this full-fledged Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, Infinity Wars, big level threat, big
Mhm.
level thing that you have to start by one, and you
Yeah.
have to go into it.
I think
Now,
go ahead.
The last thing I would say before we move on, unless you want to keep talking about
No.
this, is
Sorry.
the trade paperbacks is good because you don't necessarily always have to start at number 1. Like that's what I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's like, so
No.
if I really like
true.
Batman, there's no way I can start at 1 with Batman, like because that came out in like forever
The
ago.
40s.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Frank was picking
impossible.
that up at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But
I was playing with that hoop and the stick.
he was rolling tires down the street and
Yeah.
chasing him.
want the Batman.
No, but you can't start at number 1 necessarily with all these things. So that's what's cool about trade paperbacks. Even if you get a trade paperback that is issue 22 to 28, trade paperbacks collect a story.
Yeah.
So
they have an arc.
you
that's
might be jumping in
contained
the
that.
middle of somebody's full run,
Yeah.
but you're going to get one story that most of the time you can read that and not need any background information.
No, that's true.
You get a beginning, a middle, and an end.
So don't try to start at number 1 because you're not going to get Batman number 1.
No, it's impossible.
No.
Going into
10 of Swords.
Ten of Swords.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, we had 3 issues. One
As
was kind of
always.
short.
They had 3 issues in the handbook, but the handbook was not required reading.
No,
It was like
It's
just a
extra
ref-
credit.
It's a
Because I didn't
reference
read it.
thing. Yeah, it's reference stuff.
Just-
I didn't read it.
it's extra credit.
Yeah.
I took notes on it. I think the Cable one was the shortest.
Mhm.
I really liked everything between Cypher. They're finding a way to make Cypher cool. You know, like he's not just the translator for Krakoa anymore. He's a champion. He has a sword.
Mhm.
He's supposed to be in the battle. I think the coolest thing was him training with Magic, and Exodus is in the cut, and he's like kind of watching him, almost trying to convince him that he wants to trade spots with him. Cypher doesn't budge the whole time. He's just going hard, like I have to go. I was chosen. I think it's the coolest.
It's
I don't think that was in Cable, though.
No. That was
New
that
Mutants.
That was
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Mutants.
That was New Mutants.
Cable was short.
Yeah.
It was
Cable,
short.
Cable was a little bit shorter, and I think out of the 3 that came out this week, that was my least favorite.
Same.
The
Cable?
one.
Yeah.
Even though it felt like its own contained story, I didn't see too many like crossovers with other characters
That's
until
what I
the
thought.
end.
Well, because it's cool. Like it's Cable and Scott running through, and then they get the call from Magic, so that kind of connects Magic.
Yes, so
from
that's
the last
that's the
series.
only connection to anything right now,
So-
other than the sword.
They turn on the space station. This other entity starts coming through the wall, so it feels like maybe that's just going to be the side story that's going on while this is going on. Like they still have another problem.
We've got to think too is that there's going to be a lot of moving parts
Yes.
to this, and as it advances, like it felt like I was mentioning to you guys right before we started today that these 3 issues this week, they kind of felt like they provided a little bit of comedic relief
Yeah.
because you get to have those moments with Magic training, kind of thing. He's like, well, "Give me a second." She's like, "No."
I also thought
try to
a funny
kill him.
comedic thing. I think it was the end of maybe it was Cable where they were all talking telepathically.
Yes.
And Cypher's like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, why are
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
smiling?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's going on?"
It was cool because you kind of add that context because I felt like the 3 issues they did a really good job of spacing these out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to do a good job of it going forward. That last week it felt more intense because Wolverine is kind of an intense character, and then Wolverine and X-Force, because they have the same writer,
They
the same
needed that.
creative team,
They needed
they're kind
that
of paired
pause.
together.
Yep.
And then you have Storm going to Wakanda, and that's sort of like a bittersweet, but again, it's still equally kind of intense.
Right.
And they kind of provided a little bit of levity for this week. We got some comic in the comic books,
Yeah.
a little bit,
comic in
The-
the
a little
comics.
comic in the comic books.
The tone where the Quiet Council, I think this was the Hellions. The Hellions were whatever part 2 or whatever. Where Mr. Sinister's like, yeah, everybody should go, whatever, and then they all vote and say, oh, they need their fearless leader though. You should definitely go with them. He's like,
Yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
did not want to go over there. And then they get in there. There's like a thing between him and King Jaime where he's like, you could go, but I need that cape. And he ends up having to give the cape away, and he walks away. And there's like a fun moment where he's like, oh no, I didn't need that much.
Right.
That was awesome. I think the tone.
I love that, but then towards the end he goes, "Yeah, I usually have a cape."
Yeah, he mentioned it. He was
Right,
like,
right,
if
that's
I
right.
look different, it's because I
'cause I normally
usually
have
have
a
a cape. You know. So I think you're right. The tone for this, it was needed. You could have so much seriousness between like the gritty, nitty Wolverine story.
Yes.
You know, give us a little transition to something funny.
And I think we have the next week we get those 2 or 3
There's
parts.
2 of them.
There's 2, and then Stasis is
Yep.
like I think it's basically the first round of
Oh no.
the actual
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
showdowns, right?
Two next week we got Excalibur and X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks from today, or this week, we've got Stasis, which is the last of the first half. That's when we go back to, I believe, Hickman
Mhm.
solely writing that one. I think, isn't he writing all the single issue ones that are not?
He's writing the
connected to a
single
series?
issue ones. He's writing
Makes sense.
X-Men.
Yes. Yeah. He did the
Um,
X-Men ones. Yeah.
Piercy,
So I think-
Brisson, Piercy, Duggan.
Yeah.
He's
So
writing
where
this.
do you think Stasis is ending? Do we think we're getting all the swords and we're moving into final movement? Of this
No,
arc?
I think it's
I
too
don't know.
early. I
agree.
I think it's moving on from Krakoan side of view, and then we're gonna get the Arakan side of view.
I wonder if something big could happen in Stasis that is going to completely shift the arc of where we think it's going.
Oh yeah, there. By the time we finish this, it's not going to be anything what we are imagining.
Yes, no, but I'm thinking even before we get to the final showdown.
That's what I'm
Like what
thinking.
we're imagining is all these swords are coming together for this final showdown, but what if we're watching all these swords come together and then something happens that diverges from the final showdown, pushes that back farther? I'm wondering if there's going to be like a huge twist even before we get to the end of it.
Could be, could really be. I mean, this the story's so out there already.
Yep.
That any kind of twist and turn, I'm like, I could see this happening.
Do you think this is like completely like just side commentary? Do you think that Hickman stays on with X-Men after this, as they kind of set the bar so high, like he can't one up this again? We don't know how it's going to end out.
I
But-
think so.
Do you think he could
But
stay on?
I wonder if he's saying that this is going to have a lasting impact on the Marvel universe, like in canon or whatever. I wonder if he's going to need to stay on to kind of push it into its next phase.
I want him to write Avengers again, or Cap, or something like that. I'd like to see him do that again.
I think if he's going so hard, like you said, you need him in the next phase of things, you know, for it to make sense after this line. Like what happens after, you at least have him involved in the beginning, because I don't want something completely different to happen and then you're just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
No, and you see that with Snyder with the first, not Death Metal, where he wrote him and Capullo and a little bit Tinian, but all of them wrote this 6-issue thing that completely shifted what the DC universe looked like. He had his hands in a lot of things afterwards, remotely going
He did, because
forward
the
from it.
Justice League came
Yep.
out of that.
Justice League, New Challengers, a lot of small stuff he had his hand in.
Damage.
Yep.
What was
No,
the
he didn't have that.
No, but Damage came
yes,
out of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Silencer,
Like,
Sideways,
Silencer,
yeah, all those weird ones.
Silencer, Sideways. That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's 2 different books. I read them both. Not amazing.
I don't know what I read out of that came out of that metal stuff. I read Damage for like
Damage was
3 or
good
4
because
issues.
Tony Daniels. So.
Yeah, Tony Daniel. It's good. Speaking of metal, and
That was a good
something else
transition.
that was
I
great.
like, that was perfect.
Speaking of metal and death metal returned this week.
Death Metal
what-
returned this week with its regularly planned program.
Oh my goodness.
Because we've been having all these offshoots. We had Williamson's writing the Justice League stuff. We had Speed Metal. We had the one Multiverse Ends with Tinian. We've got New Gods coming out soon with Tinian.
Yeah, that's
But we're
gonna be
back
good.
to actually Snyder. And I haven't read it, which is sad because Snyder is like my favorite writer.
We'll dust over it then, because it's
It's all over the place.
It's
Yeah.
you get a little bit of that true apocalypse that we were talking about. You get a little bit about so everybody's doing their thing, and you get the big trifecta. Wonder Woman is with Superboy Prime in a
Uh-huh.
different universe. Batman is with the Anti-Monster in the different universe that's all destroyed. And then you get Soups, which is on Apocalypse with the true Apocalypse.
Yeah.
and there's these things called the Alfred boxes that are kind of interesting, and the plan is to destroy whatever universe, and the energy that goes into these boxes goes straight to the Batman Who Laughs. So
Hmm.
that's what it's like a fail-safe kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's like these little batteries.
You have the flashes.
The flashes are
3 flashes or like
trying to get
running
to the
fast.
trying to get to the Mobius chair.
They're running fast.
They get it. Something doesn't work.
hmm
But we do see, because I did. People are gonna hate me. I don't care about spoilers kind of guy. So I looked at the last page of it, and we do see moving sort of into the final arc of what I think Death Metal is going for, where Batman Who Laughs, who is not even that anymore, he's something even bigger.
Yeah.
Batman Who Laughs says we're moving from the new 52 to the last 52. So I
Yeah.
think we're finally coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, we're getting an end to this story pretty
But
soon.
it's felt long.
for
It's felt long.
sure.
I don't know if there was if this is COVID related for
That's what I was wondering.
how it had the release schedule for how spaced out it felt. It felt like number 3 and 4. It felt like there was months and months
Yeah.
in between.
But
th-
they also
those
did
two
put out a
coming
lot
out.
of other issues in between those. So
They
I'm
did.
wondering if it was planned.
There was a lot of fillers. It wasn't like waiting for the Watchmen stuff, dude. It
Doomsday
was
Clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Clock,
read
yeah.
issue 1 and then dropped it.
It felt like it took like 3 years.
like, it took
I know.
so long, and
Yeah.
at the end, you didn't even. It's not even the end.
Okay, cool. Right? Yeah.
So I think that was a little whack, but I'm glad that we have something that's coming out weekly. The story is amazing. The artwork on all of them is amazing. The Cable and Cyclops, oh, it's so good. Them on
Yeah.
the sword spaceship, it's so good. So I'm stoked.
Let's just hope 10 of Swords and Death Metal doesn't land like Joker War.
Well, for some of us.
I
Yeah,
liked it.
you
so-
liked it.
You
I
like
did- I
Joker
did
War.
like it.
I
You like
like
the
it.
way that Joker War ended.
I'm not going to go into it, but I did like it. They
Um,
wouldn't let me on the show last week because I liked it, and they didn't. So I'm just kidding.
That's not what happened.
put Robert on mute. I liked it. Well, you can't come over here. No,
It's been fun being back, though. It's been fun.
It's good to have you, bud.
I miss you. We looked at each other.
Miss
It
you
was
too.
like, Rob? Hey! Real quickly, guys, we wanted to make sure that we mention that 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to be doing something unprecedented.
Never been done before.
Never been done before
by us.
by us. We're going to be doing a live stream, a live show
Yeah.
on October 29th.
Mm-hmm.
We're affectionately calling it Mandalorian Eve because it's the night
Boom.
before the Mandalorian premieres. Season 2 of Mandalorian
I'm
premieres.
so stoked.
And we're gonna go. We're gonna do kind of a deep dive that night on Mandalorian. Some predictions on what we think is gonna happen for the second season. 2 weeks from tonight, there's gonna be giveaways. There's gonna be costumes.
What?
There's gonna be Rob
What?
calling from the road.
What? What does that even mean?
We're gonna have a picture of Rob in the studio.
What?
Right there.
There's
Have a
going to
seat.
be, we're going to have maybe a special guest or two. We're going to have some people calling in live. Make sure you check out October 29th.
Yes.
We're going to be streaming live.
into the West Comics.
It's going to be good. We're excited to see what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't
We
know
have a
what's
lot of
gonna
things
happen.
planned. We have a lot of things
Yeah,
planned.
I don't
It's
know
gonna be
what's going to
fun.
happen.
I
So,
don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
all right,
Please
fine.
don't.
Fine.
But we're excited to see that and see that happen. I've got ideas. We have ideas.
We have ideas. We've been getting ideas for the past week or so. So it'll be fun. I'm really stoked for you guys to see what's up. Thank you so much for the support.
We appreciate it.
Subscribe, like, comment, so you can
All
get that
that.
Peach Momoko cover.
And real quick, I wanted to shout out
Come
Paul graduated
Yes.
from the corrections
Shout outs, Paul,
program.
man. I'm so proud of you.
10-week
Much
program. He graduated today from Metro. He is now a full-fledged corrections officer.
Come
he
on.
can fix my ticket. I love you, Paul. Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Love
I
you,
don't
bud.
know you, Paul, but great job.
Awesome, man.
Got to see him today for a minute. For Rob, what do you want to say?
What is this? Where you guys say like
Yeah,
your
do your
final
signature
This is
line?
the thing. You
goodbye.
got to do the goodbye.
Okay, so hey, go out and love some people.
That's good.
That's nice. Read some comics.
Yo, don't forget, please wash them damn hands.
We'll see you.
Be nice, y'all. Much love. Peace.